Happy Sunday, team. Hope you guys are doing well. Please do forgive me in advance because this is a brand new camera. It's like a DJI Osmo Pocket something or other. And it's about to absolutely piss down. Piss down means rain for those of you guys in the UK, US. Here in Indonesia. I'll give you a quick tour of this house. I actually bought this house last year. And the interesting thing about buying a house in Indonesia is that you can't actually own the house freehold. You can only lease a house for like 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. So the downside is that you can't leverage equity and you've got to give the property back at the end of the leasehold. But the positive is that it cash flows like a motherfucker. So please forgive me, I'll give you a quick tour of this house. It's quite a small house, but it does the job. So this is my fish pond. Got about, 10 koi fish in here. We've got the lounge room area here. I can't decide. Excuse the mess. And we've got the back area here. Got the master bedroom there. Got another spare bedroom here. And I wanted to come on today and talk about the fact that there are multiple ways. There are multiple ways to scale a business to 7 figures. But the question is like, what are you willing to tolerate in order to get there? About 4 years ago, I remember jumping around a whole bunch of different mentorship programs. I was working with Sabri Subi and Dan Bolton and Cole Gordon and a whole bunch of different people. And they all taught different mechanisms. One person was a Facebook group acquisition system, another person was like a VSL, another one was a challenge. And I was so focused on like these marketing systems that I completely disregarded the importance of the actual business model and how much the business model influences, the profit margins and the freedom and the flexibility that I get to experience. So one moment I was about $60,000 a month. I saw an ad on Facebook from a guy that I'd never seen before. And basically his offer was, we'll do everything for you. We'll build the funnels, we'll write the ads, launch the ads, manage the ads, set up the tech, automations. It's like, this sounds really interesting. So I jumped inside of this guy's program. And I was seeing things from a 3-dimensional perspective. I saw, how I was being onboarded. What was the next step? What was the step after that? And I thought to myself, I was like, I can create a done-for-you offer just like this, like exactly how I'm being sold to, exactly the way I'm being onboarded. I'm going to model this process, repackage my offer, and put it out into the marketplace. And that's exactly what I did. We rolled out a done-for-you offer. We tripled our prices. We started charging $20,000 US. And in the space of like 18 months, we scaled from $60,000 cash collected to about 260 grand cash collected per month. And when I got there, I realized I created a monster. We had 136 clients on board that, all wanted a piece of me 24/7. I had a team of about 12 staff, and there was just so much stress and complexity in the business. And the worst part was that our profit margins were sitting around 20 to 25%, like 25% on a good month. And so as you can imagine, on paper and from the outside looking in, making $260,000 a month, it sounds amazing. But when you look at your bank account at the end of the month and how much you actually get to take home and pocket yourself, pocketing 20% of that is not worth it, if you ask for my honest opinion. And so basically I got to the point of burnout, decided to sell the company, and long story short, I never got paid out for the sale of that company. Sold the company for about 1.6 million. It was on a, deferred payment, vendor financing. So he put down a small deposit and then went to pay the rest off, monthly over a certain period of time. So the new owner jumped in, turned off the ads that was responsible for about 95% of the revenue, tried to run some cold outreach strategy on LinkedIn, and basically it bombed, revenue slid backwards. Because the revenue slid backwards, he told the team, I can't pay you guys for the next few months till the revenue comes back up. A few months went by, team still hadn't been paid out. So the team started to leave one by one. As a result, clients weren't being looked after. It was a fucking nightmare. So basically my back was against the wall and I asked myself the question, I was like, do I really want to start another business like this again? Because again, I was fucking burnt out to the max, like completely neglecting my partner, neglecting my health, and everything that I really wanted to do. The reason why I got into business was not just to impact people's lives, it was to have freedom, right? Which is why I moved to Bali, Indonesia. And so because my back was against the wall, I didn't want to run that same business model again. And so I decided to run a subscription offer. And I was like, I don't want to do sales calls. I don't want to manage a sales team. I don't want to pay sales commissions. I don't want to have, appointment setters and all these client success coaches. I just want a lean team, high profit, and I wanted to figure out a way to get clients on autopilot without sales calls, without DM sales, like literally on autopilot. So I basically rolled out this offer. It was a free 7-day trial that rolled into $97 a week and allowed them to cancel at any time. And I tried a few mechanisms to make that happen on the back end. Tried like challenges and tried to convert them into a trial member on the back end of that. It was okay, but then I went back to the VSL. It killed it. It was doing really, really well. I'd wake up every single morning to about 4 to 5, new buyers on the spreadsheet daily on autopilot. It's insane. And the profit margins on that company were about 70%. They still are to this day. And then I created like an ecosystem. I was like, I'm charging $97 a week. I was charging $20,000. How can I maximize the average order value per customer once they come into my ecosystem? So then what we did is we created a few bolt-ons. We sold Go High Level as a SaaS. We had Done For You Marketing as like a one-off service, Done For You Copywriting, Done For You Funnel Design. We had an internal referral campaign that was running where our clients would get recurring commissions for referrals. We had affiliates, and there are a whole bunch of different other bolt-ons. And so what this did is it like tripled the average order value per customer that came into my subscription offer. And seeing the contrast between the high ticket model and then the subscription model, I would choose the subscription model like any day of the week. It's way lower stress, way lower complexity, lean team, high margins, no sales calls, no DM sales. People come in literally on autopilot, which allows me to like double down on the clients that I do have and provide an even better experience for them. So I guess the core message that I want to get across to you guys right now, maybe you're in a high stress model, there's a lot of complexity, maybe your profit margins are really low, or you're exploring the idea of like changing your model. There are multiple ways to get to 7 figures. But the question is like, how much of that 7 figures are you actually keeping? But most importantly is, are you happy and are you fulfilled making 7 figures with the model that you're running? And number 2 is that going to be sustainable for you for the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Can you see yourself doing that for years to come? Or are you starting to get burnt out? Because I want you to know that there is a better way, there is another way, and a way that doesn't require you to sacrifice your life and sacrifice time with your family and your kids to make that happen. Hope this was helpful. Let me know what you took away from this down below. If you have any questions regarding this or anything that you want to add, I'd love to hear from you. Happy Sunday. Chat soon.